prosecutorial discretion update regarding the Supreme Court case, Texas versus United States. Great news, of course, with the Texas versus U.S. case. Posted about this about 1 or 2 weeks ago that, it came down 8-1 in favor of this ruling. It was actually led by Brett Kavanaugh. Surprising to some extent, because of course a lot of Republican-minded conservative folks are, to some extent, if not mostly, against immigration. But in this situation, it was very clear cut. This was decided based on the law. Okay, there's other cases out there, especially with the Supreme Court. You're thinking, what the heck was that? We try, us lawyers that we talk about these kind of cases, we really try to dig in and see, what is the situation, make analysis about it. But in this situation, the Supreme Court said, long story short, okay, because there's a lot of opinions out there, these states in general have no legal standing when it's essentially telling the government what to do, specific to Department of Homeland Security enforcement. So basically, states can't just sue the government, the White House or DHS, when they don't agree with how they're creating enforcement priorities. Of course, they're arguing lack of enforcement priorities and just go after everyone. There's a lot of people who have been waiting to see if, what's going to happen with their case, with their request for prosecutorial discretion. Is the Department of Homeland Security's civil immigration enforcement priority still in effect? Here it says this part has not been updated, because this is based on the district court's order from June 2022. Because what we've been telling clients is essentially, we can try to resubmit the request for PD, essentially to request the Department of Homeland Security to see if they will join our motion to dismiss. Ultimately, attorneys can file the motion to dismiss without the government's agreement, Department of Homeland Security attorneys. But of course, to give it the strongest possible opportunity before it gets presented to a judge, all right, it's always better to get the government's Department of Homeland Security's agreement to join the motion. Now, let's see here. But there's another section here that I want to share with you, prosecutorial discretion for the USCIS website. What I could share with you is ICE. Oh, well, they completely updated here. So it might be a little harder. I'm going to record a separate video that about the updates with the USCIS tools. But basically, what I'm trying to find, the news release, is basically what Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, said, that they're happy with the decision of the Supreme Court, but essentially it didn't give a specific go file a new request. They didn't say like that. Not that we need to wait for that, but essentially how this works is that although they can receive the request for PD, the Office of Chief Counsel for each immigration court may have a different process. Because I went, for one example, they're not on the same page, at least before this decision. When I went to court about a couple months ago, I recall that when I asked one of the trial attorneys, what we call it, what is the process? Because we've been emailing you, we've been filed it online in the e-filing system. What is the process with Houston, at least? And the attorney said, oh, you just email the OPLA email, which you have access to on this website, for example. What am I trying to say here, folks? You can still submit your request, but it could still be, quote unquote, not in the workflow, okay? Because it turned that one attorney told me, and bless their hearts, they're probably not told everything up to date, just because I have so many cases to handle day to day. But that's what we try to check for you, okay? We check with colleagues who are in a specific, where they live, where they have an office, to make sure that this is the up-to-date process. Because in Houston, that attorney said, oh, yeah, just send it to OPLA email, which is what is indicated in this online, in the public-facing website. And then we get another update saying, email notification saying, no, you got to file it on the e-filing database. So what we're essentially doing right now is doing double the work to get your motion agreement, to get the motion to dismiss, get their agreement on it. And hopefully that doesn't slow things down for them, because I would suspect if they're receiving the request in two different websites or two different ways, that it could slow it down. I just feel like it's a little bit ridiculous. I know Dallas is a bit more streamlined. I'm very fortunate. I'm very happy that Dallas is more streamlined. Yeah, they have like a Google form or something like that, just so we can share more information real time. It's just a lot easier.